And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Guys, in today's video, as always, here to bring you up to date with all of the latest Rangers news from the last 24 hours. And whilst it's been fairly quiet, because we are in the international break, there's a few little bits and nuggets of information. And as you can read there in the title, we are going to be discussing the Jordan Henderson to Rangers links and if they would ever happen, materialize, is the source good that's reporting it, etc, etc, and I'll give you my opinion on the factor. But basically guys, first and foremost, really, Chris Boyd has came out and spoke about the upcoming game between Celtic and Aberdeen, and was basically asking, he was asked, do you want Aberdeen to beat Celtic? And basically the former Rangers striker admits it, whether it's positive to see another team outside the old firm doing so well, he doesn't want Aberdeen to extend their 13-game winning streak at Parkhead next time out. As we already know, Aberdeen have won 13 games out of 13 in a sensational start to life at Pittodrie since the summer arrival. And basically, this is what Chris Boyd had to say with regards to it. He basically said no. He said when posed the question on Sky Sports, obviously then my team would be further down the league. I think for Aberdeen, it's great for Scottish football. We always speak about the big five as such: Celtic, Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen. The two Edinburgh ones are way off it right now. The manager at Aberdeen, since he came in, we spoke about Stephen Naismith a few weeks ago regarding poor performances the Hearts were putting in, and that had continued from last season. When you look at Aberdeen under Peter Levin last year, there was a good end to the season. They finished strong and were able to come back with a smile on their face with the new manager. They definitely kicked on from there. You look at their start that they've had, it's been excellent. It's going to be a difficult game next weekend for Aberdeen at Celtic Park, but you look at when they were, where they are now, it's night and day. They will continue to win games at football. They defend well and they've got threat at the top of the end of the pitch. Kevin Nisbet has just been called back into the Scotland squad as well, so that shows you the form that he's been in since he's arrived back in Scotland. Right now, everything seems to be going well for the Aberdeen manager, and I'd love to say long may it continue, but I'd be lying. My thoughts on it, because it is an upcoming game soon, of course, I think probably the best thing that can actually happen is probably a draw, just because we're so far behind at this moment in time, and if we win our first game back, a draw would close the gap to 3 points on both of those teams, and then all of a sudden we're actually not that far away. We don't want either or the sides to win, really, but if you had to choose one, you'd probably expect maybe Aberdeen to fail away at some point. Again, they've started the season so well, so I wouldn't necessarily put my money on it, but yeah, if you had to pick one to win, I would definitely go with Aberdeen, but I would certainly be sticking with a draw for that game from a Rangers perspective. But yeah, it just goes to show what can happen. With a new manager sometimes, not hinting at Clement's going to be going, but you look at Aberdeen, they've been in a shit show for the last couple of years, and to be fair, that's a pretty impressive start. And I hate Aberdeen, not as much as I hate Celtic, but I do hate Aberdeen a lot. So yeah, it's painful to see them doing so well, but yeah, wanting a draw in that next game when we go on to play them. In other news, guys, again, look, there's not too much going on about, so we'll just jump straight into that sort of Jordan Henderson stuff. Now, again, it's a surprise story, really. It's emerged, and that basically the bookies have made us out to be favourites to go on and sign Jordan Henderson. Now, Jordan Henderson's an interesting story, of course, was at Liverpool last summer 2023, then made a shock move to Saudi Arabia to join Al Ettifaq. Somehow didn't really work out for him, left after 6 months and joined Ajax Amsterdam in a pretty big move, and you'd thought that he'd probably see out the rest of his career at Ajax Amsterdam. Obviously they're in transition at this moment in time, and did captain the team, I suppose, for the majority of last season. But coming into this season, he's just started 3 games, and now it's of course got the rumour mill going that he's going to be wanting to make a move in January, and that Ajax actually would potentially be looking to try and sell him in January. Now, the situation is, as stated, he's a decent player, of course. I do think maybe a bit past it, and if he's not getting into an Ajax team now, where I feel like at this moment in time, Ajax and Rangers are a similar level, I don't think, you know, could he impact us that much? Maybe the leadership, maybe in the middle of the park, maybe he could be a decent asset, but certainly not on the wages that are coming around of £80,000 per week at this moment in time. And if he was to take a big pay hike, then maybe that could be feasible. But I think he's on a 2.5-year contract, so I do think Ajax would be wanting a bit of cash for him. However, it could be a sort of Jermaine Defoe situation where he goes out on loan. Remember when he was at Bournemouth, Jermaine Defoe, I think Bournemouth paid the majority of his wages when he played for Rangers just to kind of get him off the books and let him out to play. So it's a possibility that he could kind of do that. But some sources reporting on this story, and of course some sources or bookies' favourites are now slashed us as the current favourites to try and land the midfielder this January transfer window. Again, I don't like to get drawn into it too much, but again, we're in the international break. I've got to make videos on Rangers. It's coming from decent, okay sources. It's coming from bookies. So I thought maybe make a little bit of video for it. Put it in my Rangers roundup. But for us, do we really need him? I wouldn't say so. We wouldn't necessarily need him. Maybe you could say so in terms of the leaderships and stuff like that. But I do think we require more of an alpha midfielder, more for the future rather than these players that kind of come up towards the end of their career that can't, as I said, really get into an Ajax team anymore. I don't necessarily think that's a long-term solution, but maybe a loan move and see how it goes. You know, I'd be maybe willing to do that. We've seen how Stephen Davis did really well, and he was pivotal to us winning the title, and I think he played for us until 38 or something like that. I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong down there in the comments, but again, on the surface level, I would say probably not. We don't really need him. But again, I've seen funnier things happen in football. And at the moment, we're currently the bookies' favourites to try and land the player as his next destination, as it looks like he's potentially going to be moving on from Ajax Amsterdam. So yeah, that's kind of all I've got, guys, in terms of a Rangers roundup. Not really that much to discuss. Of course, there's a bit of a shit show in the board at the moment. You know, from top to bottom, we've currently got Craig Robertson leaving. Again, we're probably going to be finding out, maybe, hopefully, the club are actually trying to recruit people for these positions over these international breaks. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if we're not, because we're so mismanaged. But we'll just have to wait and see with regards to what happens with the whole situation. If there is anyone that's going to be joining in these positions, we've not heard any other news since then. So we're just going to have to wait out and see. But yeah, guys, that's kind of all we've really got in terms of that. Hopefully we get some more news as the week goes on, but it's October international break. It's freaking boring. I just want to see Rangers play football. I hate international football. In fact, I wasn't keeping up the scores. I only found out England lost yesterday. I mean, I'm so detached from international football. It's mental. But Rangers fans, that's all I've got for you. My question for you today is Jordan Henderson to Rangers, yes or no? Would you like to see that happen? As I said, let me know in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. As always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.